The beer brand, not Natty Light, I don't know that person. The beer brand Natty Light is pretty familiar with a name on college campuses, and it's giving away $1 million in partnership with Scholly to help people pay off their student loans. For more on this, we're joined by Chris Gray, who's founder and CEO of Scholly, an app helping Anheuser-Busch InBev facilitate this giveaway. Chris, great to speak with you as always. Explain to us Natty Light's long-term commitment to paying down student loans and why you decided to partner with them on this.
Yeah, so Natural Light gave started this $10 million commitment over 10 years to each year pay off $1 million worth of student debt. So it's been an incredible initiative, and I think this is their third time doing it, and it's been and it's gotten a lot of traction. So we approached them to really think about how can we scale what they're doing because we've had other initiatives where we've paid off student loans like with graduate hotels, Grownish, et cetera. So this time we wanted to really help them expand their reach. So we have millions of students on our platform and people who have student debt. So we were able to kind of work with them to really help them expand the reach of the program and be able to also help them drive more applicants because there was a lot of one of the big things about the program is that for the second round, you have to actually create a video. And some of the videos are really dope. It's really cool. And we wanted to really help them facilitate that, definitely using technology to scale. And like I said, we've been working with brands and we really like what Natural Light is doing. It's such a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
And I think with us having like 4 million people on our platform, like it was just a natural fit for us to be able to expose that to our audience.
How if people are interested, they're watching this, they want to apply, how do they do it, Chris?
So you go to myscolly.com/natty stories to apply. It takes less than 2 minutes to apply to the first round, and then we'll send you information, the instruction on how to do the video. It's really, really simple. There's really interesting thing to do, and they also are running a rent your diploma program where they actually are doing this cool initiative where they're actually renting people's diplomas for $100, and they're going to do something really cool with them. But yeah, it's this kind of really exciting program. Can't say too much about it, but it's gonna when they unleash it, it's really gonna start a really dope conversation around student debt and college costs.
All right, you got to come back when you can say more on that for sure.
Yeah,
Who picks
yeah.
the winners?
So Natty Lights pick they pick the winners. Like it's really their program, and I think that they want to pick winners who have great stories and where they think they can have the most impact on their lives.
What do you think needs to be done, broadening this out to the larger conversation about student loans? Because this is something we talk about on Cheddar all the time, Chris.
Right.
$1.6 trillion of outstanding student loan debt is what we're seeing right now. The vast majority of that has accumulated among our generation over the last 10, 12 years at this point. What are the structural changes that we need to see to the education system here in the US because this cannot keep happening?
I think with student debt, I think that we're reaching a point where students are now just are deciding not to go to school or they're dropping out, et cetera, or because they just don't want to take on the debt. But I think that I think education is one of the first things is really understanding all the different repayment plans, student loan forgiveness programs, and also I encourage other brands to also turn your marketing dollars into impact dollars. Like what Natty Light is doing is incredible. You're taking a billion-dollar company and they're putting dollars behind paying off debt. So I think collectively pulling capital together I mean, from major players is something that Scholly's working with people to do. And I think what Natty Light is doing, Natural Light is doing with this initiative is a great next step. But I do think at some point there has to be a cap. And I think I don't know, if it's the government intervening or whoever, but really going to the schools and saying, you guys have to stop raising these prices.
Yeah.
And so that debt can be capped. But paying it off, but that doesn't still help the 44 million people that already have student loan debt.
Right.
So we still have to help those people because, these people can't buy houses. They can't, they don't have a lot of upper mobility until that debt is paid off.
Absolutely. Just lastly, while we have you, this week we saw one of the final two candidates that was really championing eliminating student loan debt drop out of the presidential race. One of them is still in it, and Bernie Sanders, but Elizabeth Warren really caught a lot of young voters' attention with that platform, with that plan, and now the attention shifts for young voters to Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden on the Democratic side, and then on the Republican side, President Trump. But only one of them is really talking about this student loan debt crisis and eliminating student loan debt, making college free for all. Where do you look at the best point of optimism that students right now can find in the way that we're trending to at least talk about and then put action around canceling out student loan debt and eliminating some of the exorbitant costs of college?
Yeah, so I think, I think politicians are politicians, and I think that I encourage students to find ways to enroll in different repayment plans and things like that, where they can lower the monthly payments. Because there are a lot of things. Let's say if Warren got elected, or Sanders, or even Biden. I mean, they can say they're going to do one thing, but they have to control the Congress, Senate, and there are a lot of different things that have to be right for these things to actually happen. But I do think that I do think that there can be some controls in place on how much colleges are able to charge students, and to be able to help reduce and cancel that debt. And I do think that for low income students, like I'm really for income based repayment plans, because for that I think that if people can at least start to pay based on what they're making. Because if you're right out of college, you're making 30, 40 grand a year, and you have $600 in student loan payments every month. That's a lot. It's cutting to your rent and other payments. So I think that there are some structural changes that can happen. However, I don't, I think that there's a lot that can happen in 2020. And a lot of these policies and these proposals, they get proposed, and then they really change form over the course that they're trying to get approved, if they get approved. So I think it's good to be optimistic. I think Warren, is a great candidate. I think Sanders, I think it's across the board. I won't get into too much, too many politics, but I do think that I think something can and will be done, but I don't think that students should really find ways to do things within their control, and try to get those things off, and not wait for the next 4 or 5 years before waiting for Congress to approve something.
All right, Chris Gray, founder and CEO of Scholly. Chris, always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you.